Hey guys, how we doing today?
Hey.
Hello.
Hey. Y'all, welcome to Morning Mimosas. I think you guys know the spiel by now. We put value in criminal justice, promoting healing and education for our Black community. Y'all, the format's a little bit different. I'm actually in person with our goddess. And then, of course, my daughter does something to, interrupt that. She just spilled something on herself. It's great, but... Oh, guys, this is Amber of the Pink Cookie. I'm telling you guys, this format's different. It's different because my kids are usually away.
It's a party.
It's a party. Yeah.
Right.
Very much so. But I can go and do that spiel again, but you guys welcome. Today we have the lovely Miss Amber of the Pink Cookie. And we're going to be having a very, very interesting discussion today about her business, what she talks about, and a whole bunch of sexual stuff that I'm just really, really excited for. Let's be honest, okay?
We're going to do all the juicy stuff.
Okay. Cheers to
Cheers.
that. Cheers to that. Okay. Y'all, where do we want to go with this? Who wants to go first? You guys know me.
Y'all.
Yes. All right. Well, how about I tell y'all a little bit about the Pink Cookie Shop?
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's hear it.
Yeah. So I am Amber Simon, the CEO and the founder of the Pink Cookie Shop. And what we aspire to do is to give everybody an education on sex education and intimacy coaching, right? Mm-hmm. And so what we've said was, in my history, I started the Pink Cookie Shop because I was married at a very young age. And I wasn't sexually adventurous when I was younger. And really and truly, sex for me at that time was, hey, I'm having sex. I'm doing sex. There was no introspection there. It was just, I'm having sex with my husband. And the consequence of that was I didn't understand the value of my own orgasm and that it mattered and that it was important. And as I got older, I kept hearing about orgasms and people enjoying sex. I didn't not enjoy sex. I just didn't think it was as great as people made it out to be, right?
Right.
So for me, in having conversations and growing up relatively conservative with liberal-minded parents, if that makes any sense, I started talking to my girlfriends who were very similar to me, right? You know, we all have these impressive executive careers, all the letters after our name, and seemingly perfect lives, but we couldn't master the orgasm. So in having those conversations, it's like, hey girl, are y'all? Girl, no, we have sex like once a month, and so surely there's got to be something better out there, right?
Yes.
Talking to people and having that desire to know more, understand more, get to know more. Like, wait, my vulva's not my vagina, but my vagina is part of my vulva. Okay, like so even just learning that, and so bringing it mainstream, digestible, so that people aren't intimidated, who are people like me and my friends and the people I surround myself with, who might not have necessarily had all of the education that they needed in terms of intimacy and just even the intricacies of our different parts. And I said, I'm going to bring this to people in a digestible manner. I'm going to show Black people having intimacy, having intuitive sex and comforting sex and loving sex and caring sex without it being exploitive and just the big booty girl twerking on a page. And hey, and look, if that's what you're doing, if you're the big booty girl twerking on a page, there's an audience for that too, okay?
Right.
But I'm really and truly here for people who just want the information and don't want to be loud in the street about it, right?
Right.
So that's the Pink Cookie Shop.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love it too.
I'm laughing at you in the dog bed.
For sure, a lot of women, are not having orgasms. They're scared to talk about not having orgasms.
Yeah.
But I also feel like we should also start choosing ourselves so we know what that feels like and we know what we like and don't like.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, May is masturbation month.
Yeah.
National Masturbation Month. And it's not just about like, oh, I masturbate. Look, I didn't start masturbating until I was in my late 30s. And that was literally because I needed permission to like masturbate. What am I doing? Why would I masturbate if I got a man? Why would I need to do that? Right? Just the mindset was not focused on me, myself. I don't actually need a partner, man, woman, or anything in between to orgasm and have pleasure. And I mean, even now, I'll be transparent, you guys. If I'm stressed or if I'm getting ready to do something, I'm going to masturbate first. Right? That's my stress relief. But
yeah, for sure.
If we don't give ourselves that permission, then the reality is we miss out on so much because now I can't communicate to my partner. Look, I know you may not understand this, but I know for a fact I get off when you do this and tweak that like this, right? And I only know that because I've taken the time to explore that with myself, right? That's it. So I'm glad that you said that because May being masturbation month, this is the month that you get to sit up and say, I'm going to spend $100 on that new toy. I'm going to try out different lubes. I'm going to take myself on a date. Okay. I'm going to take the time to say, you know what? The kids are out of the house. Let me lock the door in case they decide to sneak back in, but this is my moment for me. That's that time that you can stand in the mirror and look at all your stretch marks and go, I don't necessarily love y'all, but I respect y'all. So yeah, I love this about masturbation month because it gives us permission to be freaks for ourselves, figure out what we like within ourselves before we can even remotely think about communicating that or even trying that or even setting our mouths up and say, he ain't even that good in bed. Well, did you communicate to him or her what works for you? Do you even really know what works for you, or are you just playing Russian roulette and wait until it happens? So this is the month every month, but this is that month that you really got permission to really love on yourself and say, I got this. You can move along because I got this.
Yeah. A lot of people, women, I don't know about men, but a lot of women feel shame about masturbation.
Yeah, right.
Like
but you hear about it though. Yeah, you hear about it with men. Like, oh, I'm jacking off and I blah. It's like the masculine thing. But masturbation is I'm lonely. You get this picture of like this lonely woman sitting at home with her vibrator. No, many a woman. I am not lacking for intercourse with a man, and I still masturbate probably on a daily basis. So, if society tends to okay the sexuality of men a lot easier than they do with women, right? And so for us, it's not the lonely woman sitting at home with my vibrator, my lonely little vibrator. This is every spectrum. I could be a solo and I could be my number one lover, and that's fine. But there's many a woman out here who are happily engaged with someone else, partnered with someone else, situationship with someone else that still can and should be enjoying their own self-pleasure, right? And it doesn't take away from our partner at all. In fact, I think it's an enhancement. So here we are.
Yeah, you learn what you like, what you don't like, and what exactly gets you off.
That's right. That's exactly right. And I always encourage people to even body map. Go so far as on that day where you're dating yourself, right? To grab yourself, you can go to the Pink Cookie Shop and download a body map. But you can get yourself a body map, and while you're taking time to explore yourself, if you're not quite in that place yet, and I won't even get on my soapbox about y'all can have sex with each other, you can put each other's private parts in your mouths, but you can't talk about what you're doing. We can get on that soapbox later. But what I'm saying is download that body map and put on there your erogenous zones and what feels good when what you're doing by yourself. And then if it's easier, share that with your partner. Versus, all right, hey, Holly, it really don't work for me when you, or it really does work for me when you. If you guys are not in that space yet where you can have those conversations in a healthy way, and we could talk tips about how to do that as well. But I highly promote body mapping because I think it's something that you can grab and literally hand to somebody. Be like, study this tomorrow, or you got an hour. Just take it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it.
Always be vocal.
Always.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Always know what you want for sure.
Because we could get on that soapbox. I
Okay.
tell you. I'm always like, wait a minute. So you can swallow his dick, but you can't tell him you don't like it when he does what?
Right.
Okay. You mean to tell me you can put your whole face in her, huh? But you don't feel comfortable telling her what?
Mhm.
So to me, I just feel like if you aren't ready to walk up that street, it's time for us to rewind and really start talking about,
Yeah.
are we ready to have partnered relationships?
Right.
Because
Mhm.
one thing that we always say at the Pink Cookie is your orgasm. Sex was made for everybody involved to enjoy it.
Yep.
Everybody,
For pleasure.
not just
Yeah.
him. Yes, not just her. I had that illness. I really did. It was, okay, is he done yet? No, wait a minute. Did I get mine? And so I think it does take some time and some honesty and some transparency. One of the things that we do really well to ourselves as women is we gaslight ourselves, right?
Mhm.
For sure.
Yes, we do.
We will gaslight ourselves and tell ourselves, like, oh no, he loved me. But girl, you ain't had an orgasm and I don't know how long. And that's something you should be able to communicate with your partner and say, now look, that was good. I feel good. But it would be better if it would make me feel better. I would feel safer. It would make me feel more engaged. I would like it. Oh, let's go a little further here when we do this. Because for me, I think once we start having those conversations, we start opening up trust. And once we
Mhm.
start opening up trust, I've always said, if I can trust you, I will be your freak of the week.
Yep.
Because usually why people pull back, usually why people are having, and I don't want to shame vanilla sex because there's value in that too. We can learn a lot from vanilla sex. But usually why people aren't willing to back up and open up and be more exploratory with you is because they may not fully trust that you can handle what they're about to give you, right? And if I say to one person, I'm curious about anal sex, but I'm not about to try it with you, no. There's a reason for that, right? Are you the kind of person, are you the kind of lover, are you the kind of individual that if I give this to you, when we're in an argument later, are you going to come back? That's why I have my dick in your ass.
Right.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because if I feel threatened by you, if you aren't able to have these engaging conversations, then I'm probably not going to trust because there's vulnerability there that I need to see from both ends, right?
Correct.
You can't be vulnerable with me. Why should I open myself up to a situation that could be very hurtful and traumatizing later,
Mhm.
right? So I always tell people, if you are not in a space where you can have these conversations, I don't want to hear about you put in 20 minutes on his dick and girl, he eat pussy like a whoop-de-whoop. That's cute. But when
Did you
anything
orgasm?
Right.
Right.
and when anything gets to going sideways, are y'all going to be able to have a conversation about it? Because
Mhm.
one thing I have noticed, I've had relationships before where have y'all ever gotten to a situation where you've had a sexual routine? Like, I fuck his dick, he eats my pussy, I get on top, he hit it from behind. Like, you have a formula.
Yeah.
Mhm.
On
Right.
schedule too. On the schedule.
On schedule.
Yeah.
On schedule. That is not, I don't know about you, and if that works for you, I'm fine, but I need it to stay evolving and healthy and elevating to the next level, because once we've mastered that track, what's next? And that's when people start engaging other places, right? And I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't shame polyamory. If you need more than one person, I know I cannot balance the responsibilities of everybody and everything, right? So if that's working for y'all, that's fine. But for y'all who tell each other that y'all are monogamous,
Mhm.
for y'all who are out there telling each other that, make sure that you're keeping it engaging. Because I don't know about you, but if I had to have sex with one person for the rest of my life, for the end of my days, I'm gonna need that to stay excited,
Right.
right?
Right.
I'm gonna need that to keep evolving. So I always tell people, it is not just about sex education. It's about educating yourself in the art of intimacy as well, because that intimacy is what's going to make the physical act of sex that much more engaging.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. And if I'm going to be your only sexual partner, I should be able to trust you with what gets me off. Like, you should be able to trust me and know that we're saying the same thing.
Yes, there it is. Absolutely.
I've been in a situation before where it was safe at one point, then it became unsafe. And so
that's right.
I know what the difference feels like. You know? And if you want to try something, you should be able to, your partner should be open to trying whether they think they're not going to like it. Try it at least one time and see if you're going to like it. If you're not, then okay. But don't get off from the beginning.
That's right. And I always tell people. That's right. But I always tell people too, it's also important to know your boundaries though. Because for me, and that's about being able to communicate. Because I do know I have tried some things and I'm like, this is just really not for me. I do not enjoy this. I do not like this. It's not about who my partner is. This is not for me. Right? Now, that is your responsibility as a responsible lover, as somebody who cares about the individual that they're with. Now, if you just out here smashing and dashing, then you just smashing and dashing, right? But if you are out here trying to engage in physical intimacy with anybody else that you care about, you have to be clear about your boundaries and communicating those, because even trying it is still not going to change my mind, right? But you have a responsibility as a lover, as a good, responsible one, to say, hey, now look, if anal sex is something, I keep saying anal, I'm about to come up with something else, y'all, I promise. But anal sex is something that you need, I cannot give that to you. I have tried it, I don't like it, it don't work for me, and I don't like the hemorrhoids, right? So if that is something that you need, I will never try it with you. Right. So that's something that you need to decide within yourself. I cannot make that for you or do that for you because that's my boundary. Right. Not to do it with me. Right. And so if you need it, we may not want to go any further on this. Right. And being mature enough to say, I let this person go and I can wait for the next one who is for me. Right. So there is that.
Okay. I'm absolutely loving it.
I'm trying to think of how to ask this. At the Pink Cookie, do you believe that a relationship that's hyper focused on physical intimacy, just the sexual intercourse, can it be tainted by not pouring into the other elements of connecting? Did that make sense?
You did.
Okay.
So if I'm hearing this right, what you're saying is, what if my relationship is just based on sex? If your relationship is just based on sex, then that's fine. As long as everybody involved understands that this relationship is just based on sex. I've had friends where I'm like, we're never going to be together. But I like your sex. And that's what we do, right? And so if that's okay and everybody understands where we're at and that's what we're doing, then I don't see a problem with that, because you cannot confuse an intimate relationship, like a level 3 or 4 intimate relationship, with we are just, I'm going to just say it like this, and I say this frequently. You do not have to love someone to fuck someone.
Oh, absolutely.
No.
Right? And so you don't. To have sex with them, to be intimate with them, to engage with them in any space, you do not need to love that person. So if you have decided, hey, I just like having sex with you, and y'all are mature enough to say, look, this is what we do, then have at it. Because the goal here is not to elevate to this level of intimacy where I care about the evolution of our sex, right? If we just get together on Tuesdays and knock it out and you go your way, I'll go my way, then that's what we do. Now, if this is someone that you're hoping to have a romantic level 3, 4 relationship with in terms of intimacy, then yeah, no. If you realize that all y'all are doing, we don't talk to each other unless we in the bedroom, and you're sharing a space and you're trying to engage in a romantic way, then absolutely you have got to do some nurturing over here in that space, because it's never going to evolve, right? And that's when you get on that track where we have the same sex. On Tuesdays at 3:00, we have the same sex. You suck my woo, I do your whoop, we da la la, right? And that's when you get stuck in that cycle. So yeah, that's when you want to pour into it. That's when you want to engage on a higher level. That's when you want to start saying, hey, maybe I am going to start studying intimacy. Maybe I am ready to say, hey, our kids are a little bit older. We get a little bit more private time. We can walk around the house naked all day and explore each other, right? So I think if all agreeing, consenting parties have said, we're just having sex, that's perfectly fine. That's, in some cases, as long as you are being safe, because we are not going to relent on protecting ourselves, right? Ladies, you too can carry condoms. You can. Hear it loud, hear it proud. Ladies, you can absolutely insist. Gentlemen, you can absolutely insist. Our transgender friends, our everybody on the spectrum in the rainbow, understand you can insist on not only protection, but show me your results. I got a take-home test on my desk right now.
There it is.
Okay? Because I'm going to tell you right now, there is no nut on this planet worth your life. Nope. There is no nut on this planet worth a child that you didn't plan or want, and that you're going to war with somebody over. It's not worth it. It is not worth it. Protect yourself. There's no relent. So if everybody's saying, hey, I'm here for the fun of it, great. We got condoms, we got lube, we got tests. Let's do this, right? Let's go.
I absolutely agree with that. I just wanted an expert to
Absolutely.
it. But I think that a lot of people, and especially women, are engaging in these one-dimensional relationships, and they're the main ones reading all these tips about intimacy and things like that. But like you said, you have to have that conversation no matter what level of the relationship you're with someone. If your body is involved, you absolutely have to be able to talk about what is this, what are we consenting to.
Absolutely. Sure. Absolutely. And that's part of that deeper conversation, you guys. You know, I run into people all the time who are like, I just don't feel comfortable. And my next question is, but you don't feel comfortable taking care of yourself. So if you broke your arm, are you just going to sit on the couch and say, I just don't feel comfortable going to the doctor? That's not true. That's not true. At least I hope it's not true. Right? And so you're going to get up, you're going to go to the doctor, and you're going to get your arm cast. Right? And it's the same thing with your sexual wellness. If you are still in a space where you are actively engaging in physical sex and you're not protecting yourself, if you're not expressing your boundaries, if you're not saying, no, I insist on a condom, and this person can't give you that level of safety, that's when we have to ask ourselves, you know, I can only speak from a woman's viewpoint, right? But that's when we have to ask ourselves, like, sis, are you even prepared to be doing this right now? Because you're not loving on yourself. And the whole point of sex, unless you're trying to make a baby, is to be loving on yourself and then being able to express that maybe with someone else, right? And so it is just as imperative, just as important for us to really invest in our sexual wellness the same way we do. Like I got up this morning and made two decisions, right? Am I going to have tea or coffee? Am I going to have a smoothie, or am I just going to fast until blah, blah, blah? And all those decisions were for my health, right? And it's the same thing with my sex life. I made the decision last night. We will definitely be using a condom. I need lube. I'm okay with that, right? And I also need these kinds of aftercare things from you when we're done. And I'm not ashamed to say it, right? And that is for my own safety. That is for my own happiness. That is for my own pleasure. I'm entitled to that because I want to feel good and I want to live. Right? I want to live. And so, and don't think, you guys, I hate it when I hear this. You know, if I get one of these, if I get gonorrhea or if I get whoop-de-whoop, I can clear that up. I mean, yeah, I guess.
But why would it even be a conversation to be had? Take care of yourself. I feel like if you can't tell somebody or you're not comfortable enough to tell somebody to put a condom on,
I mean, that's really where we're at, right? You advocate for yourself. If somebody hit you with the car, you would, and you were okay, you would stand up and be like, you hit me.
Right.
Right? You would advocate for yourself. And it's the same thing with any type of sexual relations, right? You would have to advocate. You need to advocate for yourself, because if you don't, you're going to get what you get. And you could have stayed home for that, right?
Right.
You could have stayed in your house, and I could have stayed in my house, and I could have just watched Netflix or read a good book, right? Or I could have got myself off and nobody would have been hurt.
Exactly.
So there's that. There is that. So I love this conversation, you guys, because I love when I can get into that space where sorry, you guys, when we can give ourselves permission to truly say my pleasure matters, right? Where I can get into that space and say, taking care of myself sexually is akin to getting up, brushing my teeth, and taking a shower, right? And it matters, because if I'm sexually frustrated, how many times have you guys been sexually frustrated and you got things to do that day? Your brain
agitated and aggravated.
You're agitated and aggravated. How many times have y'all felt like you were just climbing the walls? I had my men friends be like, girl, I can't even think straight today. Like, and you know what I mean? Like, but I know for a woman, for me, I definitely have those days where I'm like, I just need to hump something. Like, what is going on? Right? And that I can't, it's hard for me to function. It's hard for my mental to even straighten up and focus on anything until I can scratch that itch, right? And so our sexual health, our sexual wellness, we've got a big push in terms of our mental health and being self-advocates in terms of when I need help or when I need to seek someone to speak with. Same thing with our sexual wellness. Same thing with the broken arm example, right? You're going to fix it. So here we are. There it is. What else y'all got today?
So are most of your clients women?
I am gonna have to brag on our fellas right now. Oh, because I have more male clients that are, and people are like, are they being perverts? No, they're not.
I don't think so.
They are asking the questions. They are good students. They're listening, paying attention. I'm proud of them. I do have more male clients that are actively engaging right now in terms of coaching than I do have women clients. I think for what I'm seeing with our sisterhood right now is women are interested, but I think that they're afraid if they're in a heterosexual relationship to really reach out and ask for that information, because they don't want their men to find out, because they don't want their men to think that they're not engaging well in bed, right? And I think when men have gotten to a place where they're acknowledging that they need some guidance, some coaching, they're like, look, I'm gonna ask her. I feel comfortable with her. I feel comfortable asking her these questions and taking that time and taking the classes and asking the questions and engaging in truly a respectful way. I have yet to be disrespected in a weird way. And I'm liking what I'm seeing, you guys. Ladies, they're out here doing the work. So
I believe that.
Yeah, they are out here doing the work.
It's just that a lot of us are afraid to speak up about it. But anytime I've spoken up, they're like sponges. They really are.
Yeah, they want to know. They want to. And I'm speaking strictly cisgender males right now. From my experience, I can't say all, right? Because we all know that they out there that are like, I'm gonna get my nut, I don't care about yours. But for those fellas who are in relationships that they care about their woman and they want to see her enjoying themselves too, and they get off themselves on seeing her get off, is they want to know, they want the information, they want a safe space to ask the questions, right? Like, what you know about whoop de whoop. And is the rose everything that people say that it is? Yes,
Yeah.
it is. But y'all need to be afraid. Invite Rosie into your situation. She will only help it. Okay. But all that to say, I just think that the fellas are out here doing the work. I'm seeing it. They're engaging, they're asking, they're doing, they're taking the advice, they're keeping the intimacy journals, they're doing the work. They're coming back.
It's
Yeah.
very smart because they know if they please her, she's in turn going to please
Exactly.
everybody you. So it's a win-win.
And say it again, honey. Say it again. Say it again. Say it again.
Win.
Say it again. It is a win-win.
Yes.
If you take care of her, she's gonna take care of you. Because I know in my baby,
Yeah.
I know in my finest moments, I'm like, what can I do for you?
Yes.
Right? How can I repay you?
And get up and make a sandwich.
It's the noises. Yes. Yes. That, and I'm telling you.
Okay.
When it's the woo-wee, it's the ah-wee. That's the okay. You get there and
Yeah.
look. I'm gonna give you guys an exclusive right now. The Pink Cookie Shop is currently rebranding. We are gonna have a whole new look, whole new face, whole new name, everything. But it is truly to bring in our gentleman friends and make it more of a balanced conversation.
Hey.
But I'm gonna give you a hint here. So I will tell you, if you can make a woman quiver, remember that. That's you hitting home base. So when you talk about the noises, she giving you the quiver and the legs are shaking and everything else, and y'all, I don't want to put it out there. That's not how everybody manifests. Okay? Do not expect that. Do not expect that. If you don't get it, trust me, it doesn't mean you are not hitting it all the way home. I'm just saying. But remember, it's the noises, it's the cues. People ask me, what's your number one sex tip? And I always say, pay attention.
Yep.
My number one sex tip is pay attention, because sometimes we can't even articulate ourselves. Like if I'm trying to tell you not to stop and it comes out in terms of that just don't stop. I'm enjoying what I'm doing. You heard it?
Keep going.
I'm enjoying where I'm at, right? So spend that time. That is my number one, has always been my number one sex tip, and that is pay attention. Pick up on the cues, listen for it, feel for it, understand it. Because that's the only way that you're really going to get to understand not only yourself, but your partner. If you surprise yourself in a solo session, and this goes for you two men, you like that. Take note of it, right? Pay attention. So that is always my number one. What else we got? We on a roll today, y'all.
Not me sitting here cheesing and stuff. Like,
shoot, like I know what I'm gonna do later. Yeah, indeed.
no, I don't have no questions. I'm more just excited.
We gonna send Highway home right today.
So, do couples come? Do you counsel couples as well?
That's a great question. Yes, I do couple counsels and coach couples, and there it is. And the way that it usually manifests itself, and not that it has to be this way, but usually it's one partner comes, and then they're like, "Do you do couples? Because I would like to bring my significant other." Up until this point, it has always been the gentleman inviting their partners. And so
I love this.
Yes,
Me
I'm telling you, the fellas are showing up, y'all. So, yeah, we coach couples as well. And I actually prefer that. And the first time that I've had that, I really enjoyed that dynamic, because you could do those exercises and you can give real life feedback. Because if I'm coaching just one person, then I'm depending upon them to go back home or go back to their dwelling, right? And conduct that exercise. And by exercise, I'm not talking tactical. So I'm not coaching people through sex, you guys. Like people are not having sex in front of me. That's not happening. I'm talking about intimacy exercises, right? So if I'm asking a couple to sit back to back and share desires with one another, then I can watch that real time. I can help guide and coach you guys through those exercises versus going home and you guys going, I think this is right. I think she said that we're supposed to like count to 5. There was no count to 5. No. Right? So in the couples, when I'm coaching couples, I like doing that because it's real-time feedback. It's real-time guidance. I can make sure that the exercise is being conducted in the way that it's intended to be conducted, and people can get the results that they want, right? So absolutely. That's a great question. Thank you for asking that.
Yeah, okay, that was amazing.
Of course, I'm trying to put folks on. Give them the range of your expertise.
I actually love that it's more men than women at this point.
Mm-hmm.
That the fellas are stepping up, because for so long they still didn't give a damn.
Yeah. And you know what? And I'm going to be very honest. I started the Pink Cookie. Anybody that knows me, my sisterhood, people who were real close with me, they know when I started the Pink Cookie, I was this is for the ladies. This is for the women. This is for us, right? And where I was ignorant, but now I see, is that there's no us without them, right?
Right.
We have to bring, even if we're talking about a homosexual, lesbian, again, we go back to the rainbow on the spectrum. I don't care where you're at. There's more than one gender on this planet, right? And to isolate the conversation to just one is neglectful, because there's all kinds of different experiences that we can have. And we had to open up the Pink Cookie Shop, and hence why we're currently going to be relaunching here soon with our new branding and our new identity, and really to pull everybody into the conversation, not just women, because it's an incomplete conversation, and we realize that, right?
It's a one-way street.
It's just a one-way street. And I can sit here and say, hey, Holly, I'm going to teach you this, and I think this is great for you. But if I don't do the reverse, and Holly is, let's just say Holly's strictly dealing with men in her life, then that's not helpful, right? Mm-hmm. If I'm saying, if Holly says, I want to bring my partner to you, and I'm like, well, I can't help him. No, that's not going to work or help her, right? You've got to be able to willing to see the other side of the street. And again, I say this as humans, without even just that basic fundamental, without that other half, there is no us, right? And so we have to bring them into the conversation.
Of course. And that makes perfect sense. Any other kind of counseling, family, relationship, they're acknowledging all sides and hang-ups from everywhere. So
that's right.
That makes perfect sense.
Absolutely. And you know, even if you are, let's say I'm a lesbian, but I have 2 sons, right? I want to be able to give them permission to own their sexuality too, right? To be responsible sexual citizens, right? So I can't help you with that, son, because I'm a lesbian. That's probably not an acceptable answer, right? Not in being a responsible parent. So we wanted to open up this conversation to everybody, to every gender. And where I fall is where we have people in the Pink Cookie Shop who are stronger experts than I who come in and help with that, right? So I don't want to give the impression that the Pink Cookie Shop is strictly for heterosexual couples, because that is not the case. That's just my area of expertise, because that's where I dwell and that's where I have the most surefire information. But we can certainly help others on that journey as well.
Awesome.
I absolutely love it. You guys, we are here with Amber from the Pink Cookie. For y'all who have joined in, we have been having an amazing conversation today. And if this is your speed, this is your speed. Your discretion is advised. Okay?
I feel like we've been pretty good this morning. We haven't gotten too crazy. We've been giving each other permission to be who we are and explore those places that bring us the most joy. So I don't think we got too spicy. I usually get that one, tell us how to suck a dick.
I do have a question about intimacy journals. You did mention intimacy journals. So it's a twofold question. Yeah. One, could you tell us what you challenge your clients to record in there, and also do do you have one that you record in regularly as well?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I'll take
It's a great question.
your question and flip it, and then I'll answer that for you. So
Okay.
yes, I do keep one. My intimacy journal is full of a lot of things, and it usually ends up being ideas or afterthoughts from experiences, right? So in terms of ideas, in my intimacy journal, it's always like if I'm sitting and working and I'm thinking about content for the Pink Cookie Shop, and then something pops in my head and I'm like, ooh, I want to try that. I always have my journal sitting next to me, and I'll just kind of just drop it in there, like kind of like my bucket list. It really is kind of like my sex bucket list. I want to try this, or I kind of want to role play this out. Let me see how, but that's how I like to play. I like partners who are playful and who know that I'm kind of silly in the bedroom. That's kind of my bedroom persona. I like to have fun. If I'm not laughing with you, then I'm probably not enjoying my experience with you. I like to eye gaze, but if I don't stop eye gazing because I'm laughing, then it just wasn't a good experience for me, right? So I journal thoughts and moments. And then if I've had a good experience, one of the most intimate experiences I've ever had nothing to do with intercourse was a gentleman that I see, he came over. I had a surgery last June and I couldn't have sex for a while. And so we just hung out and we did intimate things together that didn't involve intercourse or me helping him and he'll get me back when I can. It was nothing like that. Every time I hear stuff like that, I'm like, what? No. But at any rate, he had a bag full of books and we read intimate, erotic books to each other. We took turns reading.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. And it was such a wonderful, intimate experience that was probably to this day the sexiest thing a man has ever done for me. And I've had some sexy moments, but this one was just so beautiful for so many reasons. And I was laid up in this chair and I just, I was not sexy by any means. Nothing hot was going on with me. There was going to be no touching. None of that was going to happen, but it was fire, y'all. It was a very nice session. And that had to get journaled because
for sure.
It's so beautiful. And I love this man for all of the things that he brings that have nothing to do with how he touches me, right? And so I just put in my intimacy journal those kinds of things, right? What I advise for my clients, it really depends on where they're at in their journey, right? So I may advise them to start their intimacy journals with start writing about all the fantasies and the desires that you've ever wanted, no matter how taboo, no matter what they look like, whatever, just get it out, right? And so I may encourage them for 30 days, whatever comes to your head in terms of sexual desires, blah, 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 even if it's a want, even if it's a bucket list thing, put it in your journal, right? And then as they've evolved, I think they can now become almost your own erotica. I'm writing my own stories about what I have experienced, what I have lived, what I'd like to see, what I'm going to do. And so it does depend on where people are at in their journey. For myself, at this point, it's very much so experiences and checking things off. And I do have a bucket list. Every year I try and give myself like, I want to explore this, right? And I give myself a year to do it. I may not check them all off, but when I do, that definitely goes in my journal. I think an intimacy journal is another safe space where we don't need a partner. If I have a partner, I can go to my partner and say, hopefully we have the kind of relationship where I say, you know what? Tonight I want to wear my fascinator and I want you to do me on the balcony, right? So if I don't have a partner for that, I put that into my intimacy journal, or I put that on my bucket list. And if I can get to that, I'm going to make that fantasy come true, right? I just think it's a way for us to be accountable again with our sexual wellness. There are things in there that I've said like, oh, I want to use my yoni oil every day. And I'll put that in my journal, right? I'll put that in my intimacy journal because it's a goal that I have. I want to be dedicated to caring for and loving on my yoni. So I'm going to use my oil every day, right? So I think the journal is what we need it to be. If I am coaching someone, if there's a specific thing that we're working on, I will have them journal on that specifically. But the idea here is to progress and end up making it my own erotica. I mean, there's times where I go back and I read it and I'm like, oh, I forgot I did that. Yeah, that was good.
I was going to ask how often you go back and read it.
Yeah, I go back and read it a lot. And there's people that have come and left from my life. I don't like to, ending my marriage was the last relationship I said I would have any level of like contention with. So anyone who leaves my life now, I can look back on my intimacy journal and say, wow, they were beautiful for that time, right? And it keeps it healthy for me. It doesn't keep it in a space that it's toxic or I hate him. I don't deal with nobody that I don't like, right? And so I can go back in my intimacy journal and if there was some level of that didn't work for me, then I call attention to that didn't work for me and then I move on, right? But I will always have those positive, good things in my intimacy journal, no matter what manifested out of this person. Because one thing as a human, we cannot forget is no matter how devastating this moment is, this person is another human too, struggling along the way as well. So I don't want to leave you in a space that's ugly, that's negative, and I want to remember all the terrible things about you, right? So I love intimacy journals. I think they're a great way to be accountable to ourselves and our own pleasure.
I like that. I journal, but it's all over the place.
Yeah.
One thing for me is after sessions, sometimes I'm inspired. So I feel like my intimacy journal will probably like just turn into a whole bunch of poems or something.
Yeah.
So I like that you're like some of mine are ideas because that's how I feel. I get really inspired after.
Yeah. And you want to revisit those things, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you have a partner and if you don't have a partner, I always tell people too, keep your intimacy journal and fantasize on things that you want to do for yourself. I mean, I've had fantasies where I'm like, I'm going to write this down. And the second these kids are up out of this house, this is exactly what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to put on the fanciest, hottest dress that I got. I'm going to make myself, or I'm going to order myself, or I'm going to go pick up a nice dinner. Like I'm about to make sweet love to me after I have this amazing, amazing day, right? I'm going to dress up. I'm going to look dope. I'm going to take myself out. I'm going to make sure that I'm turning heads. I'm going to feel so sexy by the time the night is over. But that's I want to do this. And I'll put that in my journal and say, oh, shoot, it's Friday. The kids is gone. This might be the night for this one. Right. So don't lose track of those. Y'all deserve those. Absolutely.
I love that.
Yeah, I love that too. I am so grateful today, y'all. We are in person with Amber of the Pink Cookie. And you guys heard the exclusive. She will be rebranding soon. Yeah. So let's all look forward to that. We are super duper excited.
Yes. Hey, and I invite you guys, if you're not following us on Instagram, it's at @the_cookie. So follow us there so that you can stay abreast to all of our announcements that are coming. Our website is www.pink-cookie.com. And you can also follow our events and see all of our great things that are coming out. When we rebrand, there'll be a whole new website, but we'll make sure we direct you guys to that as well so you can still find us. Indeed. Awesome. Yes. Awesome. We're not going away. We're just getting better. Okay.
Yes.
All right. That part.
There it is.
Just evolving like our sex life should always
there
be.
It is. Okay. Evolving. Yes, we are evolving. That is it.
I love when y'all nerd out with me.
Because it's true, right? We have just evolved. The Pink Cookie Shop is technically not going away because we'll still sell our accessories, our toys, lubricants, protection, all of that good stuff out of the Pink Cookie Shop, but it'll be underneath a different brand name. So you guys stay tuned when that comes out.
All right. So I have one more question. One
Yes,
more.
let's do it.
What is your bestseller?
My bestseller? Oh, you guys are not going to believe this. So I have 2 bestsellers. Number 1 is The Rose. I guess if you were to put it in a different category, number 2 would be butt plugs. And number 3 is lubricants. So we see roses, whew, they go out the door pretty quickly. I did a sale on, we had vibrating necklaces, and those sold out pretty quickly, but they came in right up underneath the rose. And then once those sold out, I didn't get any more back. So I'm working on getting some more of those back. But we've got the rose, and we've got lubricant, and then we've got butt plugs, and then we've got lubricants that sell the fastest. Yep.
Okay.
There it is. There it is. I'm always interested in that combination, but we tend to. It's cracking me up, you guys, because they're laying in my dog's bed.
So sorry, y'all. So sorry.
But yeah, those are our top sellers. Now, if we're not talking about products, in terms of our downloadable classes, our female sex anatomy, bedroom tips and tricks is our number 1 selling class. And that's the gentleman downloading those.
I was gonna ask.
Yep.
That was my next
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So we're really big on on being discreet and discretion at the Pink Cookie Shop, because again, not everybody is comfortable having this conversation right now.
Right.
Not everybody is comfortable sitting in a classroom, a webinar, or anything like that where there's any type of identifiable factors. And so we try really hard, and in our next iteration, you'll see a significant amount, and we're going to be rolling out our proprietary coaching program in terms of a pathway that you can take on your journey to sexual wellness. But they're all downloadable classes, you guys. And so if you need to pace yourself, if you've got one of these, nice little cell phone here, you can pick this up and you can pace yourself through a class sitting on the bus, sitting on the train, sitting in your house, sitting in your office, wherever. We don't have a bunch of graphic random things. So if somebody were to stand up behind you, they're not going to say, oh, you a big old pervert. I mean, we're talking about intimacy, sexual wellness. Right. We're going through sex education. We're teaching guys, we're teaching ladies about female sex anatomy, about the male sex anatomy. We're going through all of it. You think you know, but everybody don't know, right? Mm-hmm. So we want to make sure that we're delivering that in a package that's discreet, that you can self-pace yourself on and really make sure that you're getting things that you need and that you want within the privacy of your own home, right? And so if you're not quite there yet on your journey where you're like, okay, now I'm ready for a coach, and that's literally my job. I'm coming in and I'm cheering you on and I'm giving you techniques and I'm helping you figure out what works better for you and your partner, and to get you guys in a place where if you're not, and I don't want to put this out there, everybody is not going to orgasm every sexual encounter that you have, but it doesn't mean that you cannot truly seek a high level of pleasure from that encounter. And so once you're in that space and you're ready for the coaching, we're here for that. But for everybody else who needs to warm up to it, I need to download this class first and do it in the privacy of my own home. Then we've got that for you as well. So there you go. Yeah.
I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. I need to take a class.
We got all good new webinars coming out mid-June. We've got the pathway coming out. We've got a lot of great things that you guys are going to enjoy in terms of events. Next year, we'll be taking our first retreat. Stay tuned. We're heading to Costa Rica for solos and couples. So I need y'all to come on.
Oh, hold on. Let me cut her off. She said a retreat in Costa Rica. That is my dream
destination.
So
get your passports, you guys. Get your passports. We are going. So we're going to have a great time. And no, this is why I always tell people, it's not going to be a big old orgy. That's not what we do. But we are going to help you guys and get you on a beautiful path so that when you come back to the States and you land, you are going to feel like a whole new person ready to embark on a whole new space in your life. Okay. Mm-hmm. So stay tuned, follow us, make sure that you're keeping up with the Pink Cookie Shop, you guys, because I want to see you guys all on the retreat with us. It'll be a great time. I can promise you that.
I'm definitely looking into it. Costa Rica is my dream.
We're doing that.
And for me to learn
We are
some new
doing
things
that.
to help me. Oh, come on.
Yes, indeed.
It's definitely.
Yeah, that sounds like the dream.
Yeah.
It will be. We're gonna have all the greats there too. Lots of sex experts.
Mhm.
We're gonna teach you guys how to do some tantric yoga. We're gonna start talking about the art of touch, right? Intimate touch. We're gonna get you guys all set up, ready to go. So you are not gonna come back to the States the same. You are not. You're gonna come back a whole god, a whole goddess, a whole king and queen. Y'all gonna be ready.
She ready.
Sexual revival is what it sounds like.
Bible.
Yeah.
I love it.
There you go.
I love it too. Oh, this is
All right. Y'all got any more questions?
This is so exciting. Is there any more questions? No?
If you could just reiterate where people can find you and keep up with you just one last time.
Absolutely. So our website is www.pink-cookie.com. On Instagram, you can find us at the pink_cookie. And if you're on Facebook, you can find us at the Pink Cookie Shop. Although I will tell you guys right now, you're better off following us on Instagram because you'll get all the latest because Facebook likes to hate on us. And then you can also email me at amberjoy@pink-cookie.com. And I will do the best I can to get you guys back as soon as possible. All right. But the goal here is for everybody to remember that your orgasm absolutely matters and everybody involved deserves to have one. All right.
Okay.
We're gonna get you there.
All right, y'all. Today was absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for being our first. Even though technically I'm the only one that's in person with you, but you know.
Glad to have you here too, honey.
Thank you. As you guys know, this is Morning Mimosas, where we put value in criminal justice, promoting healing and education.
Hey.
Because this is the education part, y'all. So don't be trying to come to me talking about, oh, where's the education? This is educational,
This is
y'all.
education, y'all.
For the Black community. You guys stay tuned. We'll see you next week.
See you guys.
Bye.
Oh, look at me, y'all. Struggling. All right. Bye.